Hello everyone, welcome to Planning with Ida. For today's video, I would like to go over my skin and hair care schedule, planning, and journaling. Actually, I journal everything I do. So let me start going through the product I've been using, the one I'm still using, the one I'm not using anymore, and the fact that I have been moving into my Planet Perfect journaling right now. So I'm going to start with my yearly plan. I love this little booklet from Erin Conran. They come with the life planning. And of course, I put the year in the top. What I do with this little booklet is that I'm documenting all my appointment, like self-care appointments, my general doctor appointment, my dentist, OBGYN, eye checkup, everything goes into this planner. I don't consider those, specifically self-care, hair care for this video, but I'm mentioning this because I do journal the date that I get my nails done, the date that I get my hairs done, my laser, facial, everything else would go into this little booklet. Let me show you how does it look. Basically has, the month in the top and only have the dates here. And for the big dates, for example, in May, I have my nails done. I also had a Botox in the morning. I also had dentist appointment. Not every month is so busy, guys, but it's a very good reference. So this is yearly. Let me show you how do I use, as you guys know, I have this yearly book from Planner Perfect. I started from March, guys, because it wasn't, by the time I order it, it was a little too late. And my previous booklet finished in February. So I'm making sure that I'm ordering the year 2026, 2027 on time. These are from Spotted Planning, guys, from the Spotted Planner notes. And this is the one with 4 section and the checkbox. In this checklist, I'm having all my yearly and yearly items that I do. For example, I do 2 times a year, I do Botox. Sometimes I do a filler, sometimes I don't. I don't always need the filler. Maybe I do that every other year on the lips, and it's not that frequent. I still don't have a lot of white, guys, on my hair. So I don't do the haircut, and I wear my hair very long. So I don't do the haircut very often. I do it only a few times a year, and I get very little highlight in it. It's not that frequent, and I only do it a few times. As you can see, when I do it, I go and cross it over. And I do my full skin check with dermatology. Also have a full shopping list for skin and hair care product. Go through the 2 times Sephora sales. I make sure, I back up the product that I'm always using and I'm always replacing. Oxyton annual sale also is another thing that I normally use. I use this product for the skincare, like a body skincare, and I love their body wash. So I make sure when they have 25% sales, I shop and I save them for the rest of the year. Of course, my kids and my niece and my mom and family always ask for my list. And I always have a holiday beauty list available for the items that, they're relatively less expensive, that someone can, buy it for me. And I need it and I always love it and I always use it. And then, of course, I shop from Saks, guys, as you know. So Saks goes through some events sometimes that they give you a discount. I normally buy my perfumes from Saks, and I have like the more expensive one and the one that are less expensive, but I normally purchase that during this Saks event. But this is my shopping list, and as year goes through, I document things that, it was not on my list, but I have done it. Then I have a monthly checks. As you can see, I always go in front of it and check it. I do the professional facial once a month, and I have started 4 months ago. As you can see, that last week was my last one, so I'll check. I have checked five checks. No, nails, I have to do it, guys. It's a self-care that I always enjoy and I always religiously do, because if I don't do it, my nails don't look good. So I have to definitely take care of them every 3 weeks. And of course, that date changes if I have a, travel to go or something happens. And I do treatment for my hair scalp. I do have a special shampoo that it's a scalp treatment. And I try to do that once a month and I'll document or journal it when I get that done. Things that I do every quarter or every 3 months is that I replace my mascara. Mascara needs to be replaced, guys. So pay attention to it when it's needed to be done. I document it and I'll open a new one. Normally use the Chanel mascara. That's my favorite. But recently I've been trying other ones like YSL, for example, and I like the YSL. Do the Chanel one that it's not very heavy, very strong for daily use. But when I go to to the trip that is I'm always in the water or something, I get a waterproof mascara. I go through the makeup and the skincare decluttering every 3 months, making sure that they still, in a good shape and they haven't, they expire. So make sure you look at the expiration dates. And I do clean my brush and comb deeply. I put them into into the soap and the water and wash them clearly, make sure they're dry and nice when I use them. So this is my yearly things. And of course, those go through through my yearly plans. And when it's due, I'll bring them to my monthly. I mentioned before that I use Erin Condren Petite Self-Care Journaling. This is the third time I'm replacing that. For those of you who want everything to be already documented, it's a very, very good product. I used to love it and I may go back to it sometimes. I don't know, but I make that simplified because it was a little more complex. It has all the checklists. Of course, I would go over morning routine, evening routine, mask, my water intake, vitamin intake, my retin A day, scrub day, and everything over here. And I would check it when I would go through. And then, but it's a little more intense, right? It goes through your sleep log or mood log or, the today's self-care and other ways that you take care of yourself. So it's a little more intense than what I currently am using. So as a result, I moved into my journaling plan and try to come up with a more simplified documentation. And I make that my self-care 2025 starting November. Guys, I'm planning to continue using it because it's not going to be finishing in 1 month. So most likely I'm going to have the similar page and go to like December for self-care and keep this as my self-care journaling. In the first page, again, this is from Sprouted Planner. And I have, all the items that I would like to get done in a week. This is my weekly plan. And this is the week of 17th to 23rd. I am traveling this week. So I have learned, guys, that it's the best time to do the sheet mask, like a Korean mask treatment when I'm traveling because I'm in my room and I'm not going to do much but reading or getting ready for my presentation or things like that. So it'll work really well. But overall, I'll try to do 2 masks per week. These are home masking. It's not professional mask, but I'll do that normally on Wednesday and Sundays. That's my plan. But obviously, if I'm traveling or if I have something happening, I'll, move them around. And I have a device called New Face that's for tightening your skin. It is recommended to use it almost every day or 3 times. That's a little too much for me, guys. I'm, minimizing it to 2 times. And even this, a lot of time doesn't get done. But we'll see. It's better to get it done in the morning. And I'm normally in a rush to get everything done in the morning. So I do the minimum morning routines. That's why. But I'm putting it here every single week and I try to catch up with it. Then, of course, I do shave and a body lotion. I don't need to shave that often, guys. I have done the laser treatment. So it's very little hair. But when I do a shaving and I put a body lotion, it feels so good, feels so smooth. So I'll try to do it at least once a week. And I do the foot creams recently because I noticed when I do that, I do content. And while I'm, sitting by the TV watching a YouTube and relaxing, I put the cream on, put the socks on, and let it soak for a few hours before I go to bed. And my feet are feeling much, much better, and they're much happier. So I'm trying to add that to my routine. Of course, I do the hair care. Before I wash my hair, I do hair oil and hairspray on the scalp. It's been very good. I have a pretty decent hair, guys. I know I was born with it. It's nothing special with it, but the treatment does help. And this week happens to be my scalp treatment. So I use the special shampoo tonight. And I have those two medications. Bonafide, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly or not, but it's been prescribed by my OBGYN, and it has to be applied at least 2 times a week. I'm pretty bad at it. I keep forgetting it, but I'm trying to remind myself of doing that, and that's why I put it in my list. And since I'm traveling, I don't do this glow overnight mask, which is the Korean mask. I don't do that often, guys. I'll do that when I'm traveling and when I have opportunity to relax at night, because normally when I'm home, I don't want to have that while I'm sleeping when other people are at home. I don't think it's pleasant to look. So, when I'm traveling by myself, it's something, or when I go to see my niece, it's something we do together. All right, in the right side, I have the skin reaction note. Sometimes I'm still getting acne, guys. I don't know what is it at the age of 57. I still have once in a while acne note. So I'll put it here to see if it's as a result of using a specific product. And then hair reaction, which is very seldom I have any hair reactions that I feel my hair dry or something. They're normally very seldom. On the note side, I have the refills, stuff that I have to refill for skincare, and shopping notes. If I'm out of something, and I would like to add it, for example, I notice my contour is about to finish. It's not finishing, it's kind of time to be replaced. So I'm going to put that into my shopping list for kids if they were interested to ask for my list, my shopping list. That'll be one of them. All right, that's the first page of my notes on the journal. Then I went with a very, very simplified decoration, and I came up with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then a little bit note after Sunday, what went well, what should I change, if any, and what didn't get done this week that I can add to the next week or pay attention to it. Again, it's a very, very simple decoration. I didn't do too much, but every single day, of course, I'll do morning routine, evening routine, and then I go journal what product I have been using. And a lot of times it's just a very simple, the 3-4 steps, things that I do. But the days that I do retin-A, for example, Mondays I do retin-A, I wrote this down. And again, I said I'm going to do mask Wednesday and Sunday. Normally Wednesdays I do my Chanel mask. I love that mask, guys. It's a very, very nice mask, and it's expensive, but it definitely was worth it. And then on Thursday, I'm packing for my trip, and I'm going to pack my essentials, and including my mask. Again, I wasn't planning. I don't always do glow mask, but I'm planning to Friday night to do glow mask in my room, coming back Sunday, and therefore I would have time to do my hair treatments process and what goes after that. So this is how I started using my journaling book, guys. Hopefully you liked it, and hopefully you learned something from it. If you have a different routine and you do something different, please let me know. I would love to add it to my routine. Again, I do a lot, guys. It's something I enjoy doing it. My mom is a esthetician, so I've been growing up with someone, care about the skin and hair care so much. And these are definitely not necessary, but I enjoy doing it, and I normally fit it into my schedule. Thank you for listening to me, and have a wonderful week. Bye.